Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a Friday edition, a live edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. Go check them out, folks. Fine jewelry, watches, and much more. It's family owned and operated. Largest selection of natural diamond jewelry. We'll have JC, we'll have Edgar Thompson. We'll break down a lot of stuff going on. If you missed it last night, softball won. Softball does not play. This is kind of their off weekend in the SEC play. So they played last night. And then they don't play again until next week, I think, against Florida State, and then maybe Arkansas or Auburn. I can't remember. But baseball hosts the Georgia Bulldogs. They're a top 10 team here. Should be a good matchup. Missed it last night. I wouldn't say not a whole lot of exciting games, but a few upsets here and there. Let's go to the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. We're joined by JC. Good morning, JC. What's up?
Well, I'm sitting here looking over at the beautiful metropolis of Biloxi, Mississippi from the 23rd floor and just enjoying the March Madness vibe that we have at the Beau Rivage here in Biloxi.
Did you get your free buffet this morning, JC?
I haven't got – see, here's what I'm going to do. After I get done with you, because remember, we're an hour before you guys over there in the East. So we're in Central Time Zone, which, by the way, is the greatest time zone in the country. And so after this, I'm going to go down to the gym and I'm going to actually go work out. I'm going to go pump some free weights. I'm going to go do whatever machines they have available to us. And then I'm going to go ruin it all at Waffle House across the street. But I'm only going to get 3 eggs and bacon. Not going to get any carbs, not going to get any toast, not going to get any hash browns, not going to go buttery crazy. Everybody in Mississippi has to pile on the butter. It's butter, 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 cream. I mean, in Mississippi, you don't get cheated when you go to the dinner table or you go to the restaurant. They will feed you here. If you ever want to just go ahead and get fat, you roll on into Mississippi and you have your way.
It never worked for me, though.
That's right. Well, genealogy does have a lot to do with it. But as I say, in the sports book, everybody, and I mean everybody, this is crazy. I've never seen it like this. Even when we had Phi Slamma Jamma and we had, you know, some of the great teams of the past, the Running Rebels of UNLV, Georgetown, everybody's on the Florida Gators. They love the Gators. I don't know. It's got to be some recency bias, QB. You know what I mean by recency bias?
Yeah, they've watched us recently play in the
and just barrel out over everybody. I say, a guy asked me yesterday, he's got a Texas Tech hat on. He goes, who do you like? Who do you like? I said, I think Florida. He goes, you think we can beat y'all? I said, yeah, I guess you could, but I don't think you will.
So Greg chimes in here because yesterday Mike Morgan and I both thought Clemson would make a deep run because they went to the Elite Eight last year and they had the entire team back. Look, that's basketball.
Pathetic.
I mean, it was horrible. Horrible what they did. Give McNeese credit. You know,
how about that?
Clemson almost came back and tied that thing up.
But yeah, how about that ACC yesterday? Louisville was never even in it in the second half. The 8 seed, the 9 comes in there. Who was it? McNeese beat Clemson, and Louisville just got bombed. And I tell you, you know, the teams that really disappointed me yesterday, Georgia didn't look like they belonged or had a clue what to do out there on the court, and Clemson, absolutely pathetic. For the record, I go 6-4 yesterday. I had a split with UCSD. Nice comeback. I got them on the lifeline, San Diego and Michigan. Lost the Yale game, lost the Georgia game, lost the Wofford under game, but won the St. John's, won the UCSD live plus 10.5, won the McNeese State, won the Arkansas, won the Drake. How about those Drake Bulldogs? Just burying Merritt, Missouri with the slow pace. It really pissed off a lot of people, but a good day yesterday. Got a big day planned today. A lot of dogs coming in today. I'm going to play a lot.
Well, the best story is Drake. If people don't know, this is year one of their coach. He came from Division II school. He brought 4 of his players that start for him from Division II, and I was texting with a buddy of ours that knows basketball very well, and I said, "This is the new Tony Bennett. They bore the hell out of you.
So bad. But they're efficient.
They aren't very athletic at all,
They don't turn the ball
but
over.
they just it's like the wishbone. They take you out of the game, they work the clock, and they just slowed it down. I thought for sure Missouri was gonna up the tempo somehow, some way, press, do whatever. But their dumbasses played right into it, dribble it down, walking back. Let's set up play number 4. Well, Missouri, that's not your team.
Well, you got to make shots too, QB. If you're
Well,
gonna
that's
go
what I'm
high
saying.
tempo,
But Missouri's a team that runs like the Gators, and
Right.
you run and you get easy baskets. You don't let the other team set up their defense. I've never understood that. And it was another team. It was Clemson too. Clemson
McNeese.
never tried to run with McNeese.
No, yeah, it's funny how Clemson played that game. It was completely out of sorts. Give Will Wade some credit. I mean, his
Will
team,
Wade can coach, dude.
well, he is, and everything he did back then is now being done today. It's all legal. So anyway, McNeese State is losing their coach. Now, he hasn't signed with NC State yet, and I'm not totally counting him out at Indiana yet, but they have lost their base.
Don't count him out at Texas either.
That's one I meant. Yes, Texas. But he's a Clemson grad. He's going to supposedly go to NC State.
That doesn't matter, JC.
I know, but he's got probably a better offer waiting for him at Texas if he wants it. And you're right. But McNeese State, the point I was going to make is his players love him. They love Will Wade. They had a water spraying party in the locker room last night after they beat Clemson. So he's going to stick with those kids until it's over. Tonight, the Gators, I think at 7:50, a little bit later start in the second session in the afternoon, in the evening. Again, Central Time Zone, folks. Find your way to the Central Time Zone if you ever get a chance. If you want to stay up and watch late sporting events, it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. But it was an exhausting day.
The Mighty Gators play at 6:50 Eastern Time, JC. So 5:50 your time.
5:50. I can't read these little letters in here. Okay, 5:50. That's better. But there's nothing more exhausting. It's exhausting working through these games, doing live betting and watching video poker take all your bankroll away while you watch the games. But sometimes you get lucky and hit a royal flush with a deuce. However, I'll tell you, the book at the Beau Rivage is the only place. It's smoke-free. That's the first thing. The Gator fans have not showed up yet. I'm waiting for the vibe of the Orange and Blue Nation to roll in here into Biloxi. You're going to have Mississippi play today. You're going to have Mississippi State play today. You're going to have Alabama play today. You're not going to have LSU play today, but damn if I didn't see about 30 LSU fans rolling through the floor last night, probably looking forward to another disappointing year of football. But the Florida Gators are playing today. They are everybody's pick. Even in far-off places like Biloxi, Mississippi, you have Florida Gators being loved. And again, that guy from Texas Tech says, "You don't think we can beat you?" I said, "I think you can, but you won't." So, that was an honest answer, and he appreciated that. I also like the way Houston played. They are so suffocating. They are so deadly with their athleticism. They're going to be a tough team to beat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Houston Cougars.
So, JC, since there's not a whole lot to talk about today, there's basketball, but we can keep going round and around. I thought what we could do is we could have a Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas, and you can pick who you think is going to win or cover in each game, and whether it goes over or under. How about that?
All right. I'm all for it. That's why I'm here, baby. I'm here to.
Rob says St. John's and Texas Tech did not impress him on YouTube. Brought to you by Quality Plumbing.
St. John's won by 30.
And Texas Tech they're both very good. I think here's what. I watch a lot of college basketball because I love basketball.
Oh man,
but every game is different, right? I try to say that in football. Just because Team X won by 30 and now you're playing the other team does not mean you're going to beat them by 30 or more, right? It just doesn't happen that way.
No,
So
it doesn't.
all right, let's do this, JC.
Okay,
I'm going to go right down the thing here. Baylor against the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
All right, I got to get my little Beau Rivage pad out here, QB.
Okay,
so give me a second here. You're catching me here.
While you're doing that, we're going to talk about a little bit about the Valspar. Tony just said Ricky Castillo is tied for first right now at 4 under par.
Well, let's see if he can hold on. It's a 4-day event. But Toasty was good at the TP. Was it the TPC? No, yeah, I think it was the TPC. All right, QB. Well, I've got my picks for the day. I mean, these are the games I'm going to pick. So we'll just go through them here as we play.
Then you can once we go through the games, you can say this is one of my 5-star picks or goal picks or whatever you want to call it.
Okay. All right. Well, Peach, did you read the Peachland Dental Gator Nation's #1? Did you do all that? Oh, yeah. Got to make sure we get that in. Big Joe is just too important to us. I only have these brackets here on this phone.
No, if you up at the top left, JC, if you click scores.
Okay. Oh, look at that. How did you know, QB? How did you know?
I mean, I'm a wizard when it comes to technology.
All right, wizard. Baylor and Mississippi State Bulldogs -1.5. Total 145 and a hook.
I think the Baylor Bears are going to win this game.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay. Well, I'm rooting for the Dogs. I'm taking over 145 and a half. Over. And you've got Baylor +1.5. Surprised that line changed totally from Baylor being the favorite to Mississippi State being the favorite. Bob Morris is playing Alabama 22.5. I'm taking Alabama.
I will take Alabama on the over.
Oh, you're going to go both those. Wow. Okay. And over. All right. 22.5 is the number there. Then we go to I'm just doing this by the times which they start. Vanderbilt, St. Mary's. Oh, you talk about a boring ass team. That would be St. Mary's. I'm going to take Vandy plus the 4.5.
Yeah, I will too. I don't know. St. Mary's, they can do what Drake does to you.
Yeah. They sure can.
I'll take Vandy as well.
They got a lot of big guys. Here's one everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about North Carolina. Bubba Cunningham, $115,000 payoff to get North Carolina into the big dance. Well, it all happened. And by the way, Bubba's great. He gives them an extra day off, putting them on the bracket that allows them to play on a Friday. I tell you, if that doesn't stink, I don't know what does. But if we add 72 teams, if we go to 72 teams, we won't have this deal with this, who's in, who's out nonsense. We'll get them all in. North Carolina, 1.5 point favorites. I'm taking Mississippi. I've got them at a +240 number on Hard Rock to get to the Sweet 16.
I like the Black Bears as well.
Mississippi +1.5. Mississippi over here on your column +1.5. All right. Oh, 5:50 Central Time. 6:50 Eastern, Norfolk State getting 28.5 from the mighty Fighting Gators, QB. I think a lot of guys are going to get to play tonight. That number is so steep. I still think it's going to cover. That's how
I do too. Norfolk has a couple of good guards, but it's one of those deals where we're so deep when we put our backups in, they can score as well. And here's what we would. Nothing drives me crazier, JC, than I watched it yesterday. What game was that? Maybe it was. Did Wisconsin win big yesterday?
Wisconsin did, yes.
Okay, whoever they played, it was 2 minutes left. They empty both benches, get kids in, whether for the losing team and the winning team.
Yeah.
The damn backups go in there and they just dribble.
Shoot, guys.
If I'm coaching a team ever, so JC, just remember this: if I'm ever coaching a college basketball team, which will not happen, but if I was, or if I played, and I put my backups in there, I'm telling them to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, go play, guys.
Yes.
Go play. Yeah, that was Montana.
I've never understood that.
Yeah, it really doesn't seem fair to them, does it? It's just like when you're playing football, you got the backups in there. You want them to run the offense.
Run the offense.
Yeah, run the offense.
Yes.
That's why you're playing. That's what your job is. They were playing Montana yesterday. Oklahoma, Connecticut. This is Hurley. Florida will get the winner of this game. So Florida will get the winner of this game. 5.5 is your number for UConn. I'm going to take Oklahoma just because I think they're playing well right now.
I think UConn's going to win the game, but I'll take Oklahoma getting the point.
I'll take the 5.5. Okay. Then we go to another game. A lot of folks talking about Lipscomb because of Iowa State's injury issues. That's 14.5. I know nothing about either one of these. teams. I'm just going to go ahead and just take the points because I really have no idea. Lipscomb.
Well, Lipscomb usually can score in the past. I don't know anything about them, but you're right. Iowa State earlier in the year is one of the teams that you should
Yeah.
look out for, but the
Yeah.
injuries have really hurt them.
Yeah.
Uh,
You want to go to the points?
I'll go with the Bisons.
They are the Bisons. Here's a WAC team that's trying to hold the flag. Utah State gets buried. San Diego State gets buried. The Mountain West is just dying. I said WAC. I meant Mountain West. It's a Mountain Worst. Colorado State, however, is a hot team right now. They're playing Memphis. That's another team that's missing one of their starters, Memphis. And because of that, a 12 seed in Colorado State is a 1.5-point favorite over Memphis. I don't care. I think Memphis has got too many ballers. I'm going to take the 1.5 points, and I'm going to take Memphis because I think Hardaway. I think they're a good team, and Colorado State is as well. I just don't watch them. I've never seen them play. I'm going to take Memphis.
Yeah,
we had
like
a 12-5.
I saw somebody when I was, I did fill out a bracket. It took me literally less than a minute just to punch the buttons. But somebody was talking about don't ever take any of these Mountain West Conference teams in the tournament. And I'd be damned if they're not right.
They are right.
I don't trust Memphis.
Mountain
but
West.
I'm gonna take Memphis State.
All right, Memphis. A 12 beat 5 yesterday. QB. Of course, we talked about it. That was the Clemson McNeese game, 12 over a 5. All right, so we go down here. Mount St. Mary's, who looked like the Memphis Grizzlies the other day. They look like the Oklahoma City Thunder. Mount St. Mary's. Never seen so many athletes play for a team like Mount St. Mary's. They get Duke, and they're going to cover that 32.5. I'm taking Mount St. Mary plus 32.5. They looked like some crazy ass NBA team when they played the play.
Okay, I'll take Duke in that one.
Minus 32.5 QB. 32.5.
Mount St. Mary's, they ain't gonna be able to handle the height. Duke's the tallest team in America.
Okay. Here's one. Maryland getting 10.5. This is a team in Florida's bracket. Florida's region, sorry. 10.5. Maryland over Grand Canyon. Maryland's got 5 players. After that, their bench is very thin. Grand Canyon, don't know much about them.
That's Bryce Drew, man. They're in a tournament every year, man.
All right, give me the 12. Give me the Grand Canyon plus the 10.5.
Antelopes.
Yeah, I'm taking the 10.5. You want Maryland?
Yeah, no, I like Bryce Drew. I think he's a good coach.
Okay, he's a good coach. All right,
you know who he is, JC?
Yeah, didn't he play for is he a Vanderbilt guy?
He coached at Vanderbilt.
He coached at Vanderbilt, right? Yeah. So is that who he is?
Yes. He hit the miraculous shot for Valpo against Ole Miss back in the day.
Oh, I do remember that miraculous shot for Valpo and beat Ole Miss. I sure do. I remember that. They were in yellow uniforms and Ole Miss was in white. So I'm going to go with Grand Canyon. Okay, moving on at 6:25 Central, 7:25 Eastern Time. Marquette 3.5 against another Mountain Worst team, the New Mexico Lobos. Give me Marquette.
You got Richard Pitino coaching against Shaka, 2 former Gator assistants.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take the Golden Eagles.
Yeah. Used to be
Warriors, whatever they're called.
Be called the Marquette Warriors. That's really who they are. Arizona laying 14.5 to Akron. A lot of folks love the Zips.
I love the Zips. Zips can shoot it now.
Zips can play. They're fast-paced. Let's take the Zips and all those juicy points, 14.5. I think Arizona will win the game, but I like Akron to cover the 14.5. That's one of my plays today on the floor. Moving on down, we only got 3 more games. What a lineup. What a crazy day these 2 days are. Thursday and Friday. It's better than the Super Bowl, they were saying. Xavier and Illinois. This is an interesting game. Xavier looked pretty good in the second half of their playing game. Illinois, can't really read them much, but you're going to give me Xavier and 3.5 points. I think I'll take it.
I'll take the Fighting Illini. If they're 2 foreign players, their point guard and their big man, who are extremely talented, just play halfway decent. This Illinois team can cause some problems.
All right, and then
the Fighting Illini.
Okay, they'll probably win. I'm taking the 3.5 with X. Bryant is getting 17.5. Nobody knows who Bryant is.
They're a tall team,
and they can put the ball in the basket. They're playing Michigan State, and they're catching a load of points. I'm taking Bryant. This is one of my plays today on the floor. Bryant plus 17.5.
I'll take the Bryant Bulldogs as well.
Okay, let's go with the Bulldogs, and we wrap it up on this truly maddening day with Liberty and Oregon. This is another dog that people love. It's crazy. It's dog heaven on this tournament. It seems like Liberty plus 6.5.
But the underdogs only covered 7 games yesterday.
Yeah, but a lot of folks didn't get on those big spread games. It was mostly the games that were within 15 points or less that a lot of folks jumped on the dogs. But some of those higher spread games, like that team Edwardsville and people like that, not many people messed around with that. Not many people messed around with Alabama State, even though that was a cover. Liberty's getting 6.5 against the Ducks. Dana Altman always wins in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Doesn't matter where he coaches, who he coaches. Oregon is a team that, to me, doesn't get a lot of credit in the Big Ten, if you can imagine. And they're laying 6.5 to Liberty. I think I'm going to take the Ducks. I don't like laying all those points.
I'll take the Flames just to be different.
But a lot of folks are on Liberty. I'm just here to tell you, a lot of folks are on Liberty. I wouldn't blame you for taking them.
All right, real quick, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melvin. John says, doesn't Bryce Drew's brother coach at Baylor? Yes, he does.
Scott Drew, and he's a championship winner. I mean, Baylor beat Gonzaga that year. You thought Gonzaga was the greatest team of all time. Baylor.
All right, so JC, what are your gold 5-star locks of the day?
The games I'm going with today, and everybody wants to know this, so it's a good thing that you asked. It really is. These are
your Peachland Dental locks of the day.
Lots. Actually, I went against myself on our picks. I took Oklahoma plus 5.5. I've got UConn written down here, but it's minus 4.5. So that point is a big deal. So I got UConn. I got Bryant. I got Bryant yesterday at plus 18. I got, I did it again to myself. Liberty plus 7. All right. Akron plus.
You got it perfect. You can win there and lose here.
Yeah. Akron plus 13.5. I got the Antelopes plus 10. And then I'm going to go with Memphis plus 2.5. I've got and North Carolina. No, I've got Mississippi plus 1.5 and Arizona Wildcats.
You got that. You just said you took the Akron Zips and the Peachland in.
I'm not going to take Arizona. I'm going to go with.
You're very confused, JC.
No, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the Akron Zips. I changed that. I wrote down Arizona, but I've got the ticket on Akron.
All right, we got a text here on the Titan Mar text.
Because I was getting an extra point. It's a higher point downstairs than this year. Go ahead.
This is says here, Shane, why do you think it took so long for the HBC to embrace the shotgun? Have you ever discussed this with him? Oh, yeah. I did when I was playing 35 years ago, or whatever it was. I see this not unlike Coach Napier's slow embrace of a more robust passing game. Yeah. I don't know if it was you, JC, on when we were talking about
it was
shotgun. I don't even know what brought that up. But anyway, yes, his reasoning was because he thought it took the eyes of the quarterback's eyes off the defense when he looked for the ball. But honestly, you don't even really watch the ball when it's snapped. You just kind of feel where it's going. But yeah, I used to beg on a daily basis to get in the shotgun. Never really play out of the shotgun.
And I'll never forget the game. Danny Werfel somehow walked off Doak Campbell Stadium's field when he got, so many late hits, but just so many rough plays. Those hits in today's game would be probably drawing penalties from back then. And a lot of hits you took, QB, probably would have been drawing penalties in today's game. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys got slaughtered out there.
Yeah, took a beating, but
much different than today's game.
Yeah. This Day in Sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life. Campus USA Credit Union. 1982, the Players Championship. Jerry Pate shoots a final round 67 to win by 2 strokes over Scott Simpson and Brad Bryant. And the great thing about Jerry Pate, do you remember what he did, JC?
He jumped in the lake.
Yes, I think winners should do that more often now.
I don't know how deep that lake actually is, but he didn't care, did he? And
he did a big dive in there.
I know it. He went right in there head first. He was not scared. And that Jerry Pate, Alabama golf, he's one of the first known University of Alabama golfers that was any good, because back in those days, the University of Alabama had a 15-hole golf course. It didn't even have 18 holes on campus, so they played a lot of their matches. Conrad Railing was the coach back then. He's also spent some time at Florida, Conrad. But they played their matches in Birmingham. So anyway, yeah, Jerry Pate jumping in the water, never forget it. That's the TPC has got so much history, it's incredible. Hal Sutton, be the right club today. And he stuffs it on Tiger Woods on the famous number 4th hole there on the front 9 in extra session. It's funny that they played those extra holes on the front 9, but was that the next day or was that the day of the final round? I think that was the next day they did that. So anyway, the TPC is just tremendous. It was a good one this year too.
Electronics World Integration and Design Specialist for smart home automation and entertainment, affordable local installation service and support. Go check them out, electronicsworld.net.
Oh, TV.
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel. Did I use the shotgun in high school at all? No. I never played in high school or in college in the shotgun, not till I went to the National Football League.
Or QB. Oh,
yep. So,
God.
Could have gone to BYU. That's where I wanted to go growing up.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Matt, love this YouTube. Matt McGriff, glad to see you started the day by making your bed. Outstanding point, Matt. Outstanding point. Let's get the picture of the bed. I cannot leave a room, and the first thing I do all day, even before I go to the bathroom, is I make the bed.
Why would you make a bed in a hotel, Jason?
Well, Jimmy, I don't know if these people are going to come service this room. I mean, they should, but since the COVID thing ended, sometimes these places you have to request that, if you can believe it. But you're right. But it's just habitual. I have to make the bed. I can't leave, and I cannot get into a bed that's not made. If that bed is unmade, I'm sleeping on a couch. Or I'm making it, and then I'm waiting a while, and then I'm getting into it. You have to make your damn bed, people. I can't stand walking into my friends' rooms on trips that we go to, on golf trips, wherever we go. I walk into my friend's room. I'll meet down at your room, and then we'll go downstairs. And they got crap everywhere. The bed looks like hell. It's just, I'm like, what kind? Who raised you? Where did you come from? What world do you live in? You must make your bed, folks. Outstanding observation there, Matt. Outstanding. And yes, egg prices are down. Mark coming in with a question about egg prices. The Waffle House,
I've never understood the egg price thing.
Well, it's a shortage of chickens. So
no, I know that, but I go to the grocery store a lot, JC. I don't buy eggs, but I go right by there and I look at them. I'm like, there's a ton of eggs on this shelf here, and they're not that expensive.
Well, the egg prices are better at Waffle House. And yes, the All-Star Special, well, I highly recommend it, but skip the potatoes. And then Mike comes in at Mountain Time is the best time zone. I mean, you can make arguments for that, but Central Time to me, nothing starts too early and nothing ends too late. But all good chats here on the YouTube. It's amazing the following you have here on YouTube, QB. It truly is tremendous. So go Gators today.
You got people all over the world.
Hey, Gators today, man. I don't want them fooling around with these guys. Just do their business there, get it done, come out of this healthy, and get ready for UConn or Oklahoma, a team that Florida's already blown out once, Oklahoma. But I think I picked Oklahoma with the points, but I wouldn't be – I think you're right. I think UConn probably wins this game. But we both took Oklahoma in the 5.5. But UConn say they win by 3 or 4, and then it's on. It's on with UConn. Send them packing, 2-time defending champions, Danny Hurley with all his this and that. It'd be fun to beat up on UConn and then charge into the Sweet 16 next weekend. Gives us a whole new week to talk basketball.
All right, JC. Well, be careful in the casino today.
Oh, man.
Don't start any fights or anything.
No. Everybody's in a great mood yesterday. A lot of folks had a lot of good winning tickets. It was an incredible vibe. It's amazing how early these guys get there to get their seats, and the reservations are made months in advance just to sit there and watch this big screen and cheer with your friends, drinking buckets of Michelob Ultra, buckets of Coors Light, and I didn't drink any of that. I had a Biloxi Blonde, and then I drank water and Diet Coke. I've become a very boring sports fan now. I'm not as loud or as boisterous or as excitable. I just kind of calmly win. I had some iPad phones in there watching VSiN Live. As I was listening to VSiN Live, as I was watching the game to see what the sharp money is doing. It's a new world. It's a new world when you're sober. It really is fun. And you feel better. I feel great. I'm going to go to Waffle House after I work out. I'm going to have to go downstairs and work. You believe this? I mean,
I wanted to mention too, and we'll talk more with Edgar about this. The Gators are losing one of their assistant coaches who took the head coaching job at Campbell, the Campbell Camels, and they probably will lose a couple more, is my guess.
Well, QB, they've got a bunch of them. So,
No, we're talking about basketball, JC.
oh, I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah,
No.
our defensive coordinator.
Well, Edgar's the football beat.
Well, he
guy.
covers all of them, JC.
Oh, he does? Okay.
That's
For
his
some reason,
job.
I connected football with Edgar. I guess you're right. I just
Okay.
never hear him talking about basketball.
All right, go clean your bathroom. We got to go.
Yeah, ask Edgar who some of his picks are. They don't know if he truly covers this sport. Okay.
Edgar's busy doing stuff, JC. He has a real job. You don't. Have a good day, JC.
Right.
This JC joins us on the Titan Number hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Quick timeout. Come back. We'll be joined by the Orlando Sentinel's Edgar Thompson. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, Dave & Buster's, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Signs, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Okido America, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
The most important thing I learned from my father was work ethic and integrity. Never veer away from integrity, even if it costs you money.
International Diamond Center owner Keith LeClaire.
The core value for IDC is to protect the customer.
That means offering the largest selection, uncompromising quality, the strongest warranties, and honest guidance from experts who are not paid on commission. International Diamond Center at Celebration Point. Online, shopidc.com.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother, Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football. Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand. We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers and go Gators.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Florida Crackers, the brand for original Floridians, great food and southern hospitality in the center of the universe, Brooksville, Florida. That's floridacracker.com. Back to the Titan MR hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We're joined by Orlando Sentinel's Edgar Thompson, live from his hotel room in Raleigh, North Carolina. What's up, Edgar?
Florida Cracker. What is Florida Cracker?
It's a restaurant bar down in Brooksville. It's awesome. You should go sometime next time you're going that way.
Well, I'd like to go play golf in
It
Brooklyn.
would have been a great place to go if you were covering Valspar on your way down.
Okay.
But you're not. You're covering the mighty Gators today. Edgar, did you go to the now I don't know if this happens all the time. I should probably know this. They had an open practice yesterday. Who was allowed to go to that? Anybody that wanted to?
Yeah, and we could, and you can be out on the court almost, like along the court if you want to shoot video or, yeah, I was chatting to a couple people, but I was kind of on deadline. I missed about half of it, but I went out and caught a little bit of it for sure. And it's just, them getting used to the baskets, and they're having a little fun out there. Torian Green hit a half court shot to end the thing. And then Clayton tried and didn't even hit the rim. And Carlin Hartman actually caught back iron. but the assistant coach. But they're just trying to have a little fun. That was one of the things I asked Todd about. How do you balance kind of the fun of the experience? You're supposed to have a little fun doing this too, with the business trip aspect, as they say. And he thinks they're mature enough. And he mentioned, you got a guy from, Slovenia, Klavzar. You got kids coming from, Lithuania, I think. They don't even know. They really don't even fathom like what this is. Like they don't have stuff like that over there, right? Even in Canada with Ollie, who's kind of a fascination for fans, obviously the tallest teen in the world. So anyway, they were out there just doing their thing and trying to get used to the rims and to the back what do you call it?
Backdrop.
Yeah, the backdrop, because some teams come into these tournaments, man, and they're just like, what happened to them? And they're just not used to the atmosphere.
Yeah, the backdrop's key when it comes to shooting, no question about that. Yeah, that's one thing that I feel like obviously I've not been to anywhere, but I have Chris Harry on a lot who is at everything that the basketball team does. And what you saw yesterday is what they've been doing all year long in their shoot arounds is they take care of their work, but they also have fun, and they always end the shoot arounds with like a half court shot contest or what have you. So Norfolk State, I mean, they got a couple of good guards, but the Gators should move on. Just your thoughts. I know they try not, it's one game at a time, but don't you think they'd rather play Oklahoma over UConn tomorrow or the Sunday, I guess?
Yeah, probably. Dan Hurley, I'm sure, will have something cooked up. I mean, he's a great coach, back-to-back national titles. The challenge in that game is going to be mental. You're playing the two-time defending national champions with the UConn. I mean, the laundry, as they say, right? It's UConn. UConn has won, is it 5 or 6 since 99? Might be 6 national titles. It's at least 5. 5 for sure. 99, 2004, they won it in 14, the past 2, and there might be another one in. So UConn's won more national titles than anyone since 1999. Yeah. And then of course the women's, it doesn't really correlate, but the women have won, another 10. So it's a basketball school if there ever was one. And you got to get over that mental hurdle, I guess. But this is a pretty veteran team. They got 3, senior guards who have been great leaders. And just with the effort this team plays at under the basket, they're just such a tough out. Someone's going to have to play great to beat this team. I'm not saying they're going to win the national title. My bracket's already toast. Nobody likes hearing about people's brackets. Mine is absolute destruction already. I zigged when I was supposed to zag, but I got the Gators winning the whole thing. And I never picked, I did the brackets back in 06. I didn't pick them to win in 06. And I don't think I picked them in 14, but I picked them this time. I'm not saying they're better than the 06 team ultimately was. We've had that discussion on here, I believe.
We had that discussion. You were in that discussion in the press box in the Gasparilla Bowl, right?
I don't think I was.
Oh yeah, I thought you walked up when I was discussing in a heated discussion with Chris Harry about it.
No. Mark Long and I have talked about it, and I'm not ready to go there yet. But man, this team just comes at you in waves. Hen Logden's decision, pretty unselfish decision, really, to come back. Because I don't think they had a bunch of NIL money sitting around for this kid, right? Whereas he could have come back next year, gotten a full-on, payday or whatever, so to speak. And he will next year when he does come back. But I don't know, man. They're just Denzel Aberdeen's a good example. I wrote a story about him. They ran yesterday, I believe. Orlando kid. He was in the shadow of Kugel. He was as good or better than Kugel in high school. He was kind of the leader of that team in a lot of respects. The Dr. Phillips team that won a title. And he comes.
Were they on the same team?
Yeah. And he comes here in the title game. He had 27 to Kugel's 13. So he was a stud. And now he's a 3-star guy or fringe 4-star guy, whatever. But he was good, and he comes here and doesn't play at all. And meanwhile, Kugel, people are talking about going to the NBA. I mean, Kugel's like a 6-man here. Mississippi State, playing today, he plays in a few hours. And Denzel stayed the course. And a lot of guys don't do that anymore. So this team's got something, man. Mentally, forget the physical. The mentality's great. Todd's doing a phenomenal job with it. And they're confident. And again, they're just going to be tough to beat, man. But Maryland's good if they get them in the 16. St. John's, obviously. Slow start last night, wins by 30 if they get them. And then you get to the Final Four if they get there. And you're going to have 2 very, very tough games. But they are getting out of this weekend. It would be stunning if they don't get out of this weekend. Stunning.
I agree. Steven on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, which media narrative wins out, Edgar? The SEC is most dominant conference in history, or SEC is super overrated? You can write the media narrative and just wait for the game to end.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's overrated. They did lose. I mean, Missouri lost, whatever. That was surprising. But look, God, what are you going to say?
Here's what I like to say. The SEC was clearly the greatest conference in the history of college basketball this year. Just because teams get beat in the tournament does not have any correlation, in my opinion, because when you look at the 14 teams from top to, or how many was it? 16 teams from top to bottom. It was a grind week in and week out, right?
Sure. I mean, South Carolina almost beat Florida.
I mean, Oklahoma, Georgia, some of those teams, they're not what the top 4 teams in the conference are like, but they're still very good basketball teams. But yeah, just because, I mean, I think Missouri's an excellent basketball team, but they got paired up. The matchup was terrible for them. Drake they bore the hell out of you, and they're going to do that to their next opponent. I don't know how they do it. They just they shorten the game. But
Kevin Brockway picked that one correctly. We were at some media reception last night. But Kevin knows his hoops. I mean, he was talking about why he had a justification for it. I'm just picking names, man. Yeah. I'm not digging in on Drake basketball, but he was
Drake did it with 4 Division II transfers.
So here's what I'll say, man. This recency bias is, I hate the word pet peeve because it sounds a little bit like pearl clutching, but it's just Jay Billis is the one who said this. Okay. Greatest conference he's ever seen. This is coming from Jay Billis, ACC guy in the 80s. So that has some credibility for sure. But go back and look at the ACC in the early 80s. You had teams that had Michael Jordan and James Worthy on them. You had Ralph Sampson, a 3-time National Player of the Year. You had Len Bias. You had Mark Price playing. Yeah. You had Johnny Dawkins at Duke. I mean, you had incredible talent and teams back then, and there were only 8 teams. So, okay, if you want to say by volume, but if you want to say by pure competitiveness. Now, I don't know that the overlap was as clean as where it was 1 year, 83. They were just, NC State won the national title in 83. That was the year. So maybe if you're saying this one particular year, or let's switch to the Big East. Those Big East teams, I mean, Big East had 3 Final Four teams in 1 year. I think it was 85, 3. And Villanova won the title over Georgetown. St. John's was also in the Final Four that year with Walter Berry and that crew. And, Villanova beat Georgetown, which was one of the greatest basketball teams you've ever seen. It's the biggest upset in the history of the game to this day, probably. Villanova shooting whatever it shot, 70% and beating Georgetown. It was incredible, 66-64. I watched the game. You're telling me 85 Big East wasn't better? I mean, come on, man, 3 Final Four teams?
No, I
don't want to sit here and just say, "Oh, SEC greatest thing ever." I mean,
the SEC could get 4 teams in, quite honestly, because
it could get 1.
They could get none. So, I don't look at it from. I just look at the body of the work. I agree. Back in the day,
it's an incredible league.
Big East was unbelievable. The ACC for a long time was unbelievable. The ACC stinks right now. It's that simple. It's terrible.
No, it does. I'm just saying historically to make these comments. I'm not jumping your ass. Everyone's been saying it. And I'm just trying to give some perspective to it because we do it all the time. this
Right.
guy's the best, that guy's the best. It's like, no, Mahomes the best quarterback ever.
But what I
Maybe
like to
it's
say is just because teams get to the Final Four sometimes does not mean they're the best teams. I mean, that NC State team that won the national title was not very good, but they got hot at the right time. That's why, I still
a pretty good
right
team.
now think this Gator basketball team's the best that I've seen since I became a Gator. Does not mean they're going to win it. And will my mind change? No, I still think they're the best team. All right, real quick, we got a text on the Titan of our text
That
line.
NC State team was good, by the way.
The one that beat the Phi
Sydney,
Slamma Jamma?
Sidney Lowe and Derek Wittenberg backcourt was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
but
Those guys were
what seed were they?
phenomenal.
Weren't they like an 11 seed?
Well, yeah, but Thurl Bailey played in NBA for like 10 years. There's not
But
been
Edgar, they were an 11 seed.
It doesn't, they were a very good basketball team. They beat Virginia in the Elite Eight with Ralph Sampson. I mean, I'm just telling you, man, those were good, a lot of very good teams, very well coached teams. And I mean, legendary coaches too. Now, look, this SEC, I'm not running this league down. This just because you're praising one doesn't mean you're running another. This is a great league, dude. It's great. It's been a phenomenal year. And I think Florida's unbelievable. I think they're the team to beat. And I love watching this team. They're super fun. And the game's changed a lot too, man. You can't take the air out of the ball like you could back then. And certainly you can't, the physicality is not what it was.
That's the thing I like is we do not take the air out of the ball. And I yesterday I watched a lot of basketball and I could not understand Missouri for one. Missouri played right into the hands of Drake. They never tried to get the game up tempo. They never tried to press them. They didn't do anything. They deserve to lose. Text on the Titan More text line for Frank. He says, ask Edgar about the Lady Gator basketball. They won last night against Northern Iowa. How do you see them in their next game against UNLV?
Oh, I can't say I know much about UNLV women's basketball.
The Lady Running Rebels?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be out that way, as I've said many times out west, and that was certainly an exciting period to live out west. Like I lived out and I was in Albuquerque covering basketball and sports in the late 80s and through early 2000. And that's when UNLV, man. Now, they were great in the 70s even. You realize that UNLV team in 1977 with Reggie Theus, Final Four team, lost to UNC in the Final Four, averaged 107, averaged. You talk about, I mean, that's what they called when they're running Rebels. 107 a game.
There was no three-point line either.
No, they were fun, man. I mean, I was a kid back then. I remember those teams. The Tark was incredible. But yeah, I don't really know, man. But look, it'd be nice to see them make a little run. They have some talent, this team. They're the top of this team. Kyle, McGill, Reynolds. That's a pretty good three players. Jariah Warren. They have four actually pretty good players. The problem is they don't really have much behind it. And but yeah, they could make a run in the WNIT. I just don't know anything about UNLV. I'm sorry to say.
I don't either. Meopolitan Cafe, discover the ultimate Cuban culinary experience in Meopolitan Cafe. 5 locations in Gainesville and Alachua, never far from the best Cuban food north of Miami. A few more minutes with Edgar. Asa says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Says, did Texas really fire their head coach before he got on the plane to fly home? He was fired all year long, quite honestly, Asa. They've been trying to get rid of him. He took over for Chris Beard mid part of the season. They actually went to the Elite Eight, so they had to keep him another couple of years. But Texas will throw a lot of money at somebody to be their next basketball coach. Edgar, real quick, switching gears to football. James has a text on here. Edgar, what have you seen at Florida spring practice? And can you give us an update on DJ's arm?
Well, not seeing much because I had Bay Hill and now basketball. And next week, I shouldn't probably say this on here but I already have my flight to San Francisco, flying out Tuesday out of Jacksonville. So
there you go.
I mean, look, I got it where it's refundable, but it's 750 plus as is. If I wait till Sunday, it's going to be 1,100 or whatever. So you got to kind of plan ahead. You can always flip it into a football trip or something in the next year. But so I haven't seen much, and you don't see much. They don't let you see much. They don't want you to see much, and they don't say much. I find it kind of an exercise in futility a little bit as a media guy. during spring because we really don't get to put eyes on the team much at all. And that's kind of how it is. Next week's pro day, a week from yesterday. We're going to miss that, unfortunately. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting pro day, or pretty interesting pro day. I don't know if it's ever exciting, but it's kind of interesting. And there's a lot of prospects. So, yeah, I'm not quite in tune with what's going on out there. I'm excited about the number of playmakers the Gators have. These the freshman receivers. There's a lot of buzz about Vernell Brown, the three, coming from players, just about his speed, explosiveness. We're hearing Dallas Wilson is the complete package. Sturdivant, I think is going to be a real good get. Another transfer portal get out of the receiver portal. And then Trey Wilson talked the other day, and he looks like $1 million. And we'll see. But I mean, man, he has packed on some weight. He is looking thick and he's fast. So faster than he's been. So anyway, which is amazing. But, so that DJ's going to have people to throw to and hand the ball off to. But we'll see if he's right. He's going to throw. He's not throwing this spring. Yeah, they are resting this young man to see if he is going to be ready. I'm not going to get into much more detail than that because some of it's not rumor either. But I mean, he's not throwing the football.
No, I just don't understand it at all. But obviously, there's got to be some concern there. I don't know how else to put it. So let's hope.
There's got to be, because if he's on the edge of something, it can go one way or the other. I mean, you've had injuries. We all have at this point. And, you push something and it gets worse, you got to rest. And I think he is going to get enough rest. He's probably going to be okay and play. But he is definitely, they're watching him closely. Did you see the tweet of him and AR working together?
What are they working on?
I don't know what there's working out, but I mean, DJ looks, there it is. I mean, look at DJ. Yeah, he's gotten leaner, man. Look at the kid.
Yeah, he's bigger than AR. He's taller.
It's unbelievable.
Thicker. Yeah.
I mean, he's unbelievable. Disgusting.
Yeah. Yes, he
is. Let's hope he gets healthy. Look, if DJ Lagway isn't playing next season because of whatever, I'm not saying that's where it's headed. I'm just saying if. Oh, it sucks all the life out of that season immediately.
Yep, no doubt about it. Edgar, good stuff as always. Where's press row? Is it like right behind the TV do you know where it's located?
I don't know yet. I went and looked yesterday at the shoot around. They didn't have media seating set yet. But I think should be okay this week. It gets more difficult as the sites get more as they get bigger. I'm telling you, dude, at the Final Four in Jerry's world, okay, I was 78 rows back on the end of the court. The ball, they would dribble it. It'd be like, and you'd hear it. Dribble, boom.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we doing here? I mean, I need a binocular. So hopefully they have this situation in San Antonio straightened out if the Gators are fortunate enough to get that far.
Yeah. Good stuff. Have a good trip, and we'll talk to you soon, man.
Thanks, Shane.
Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient. For sprains, strains, and minor fractures, UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you 7 days a week, including evenings. Walk-ins are welcome. That's UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Have a good weekend, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.